So I used to work in a museum that closed fairly late. During summer, we'd be open until about 10 p.m., and living in the city, I unfortunately had to always pass very crowded places in order to get home. This happened when I stopped to get some food in a restaurant near a shopping center on my way home. As I left the tram, a guy immediately stopped me to ask for a donation. We had a very short conversation, but before we finished, two guys, seemingly older than me, I was 20, they could have been like maybe 30, that both had a very large muscular build, stopped by and started asking me weird questions. They were both holding beers, but neither of them acted drunk per se, which means they were creeps by nature. At first, they commented on my blue hair, telling me how much they loved it, which is fine. Then they asked if this guy that was still awkwardly standing there was my brother, and so on. Thankfully, they left soon after. I made my donation and started making my way towards the restaurant again. I didn't notice them at first due to the place being overcrowded, but right in front of the restaurant they stopped me again. This time their questions got a little creepier. They asked me if I would be willing to perform all kinds of intimate acts on them since they're here to have fun and I was apparently very attractive to them. They kept being awfully pushy, saying that I should suck them right there on the spot. I tried to walk away, but they just blocked my path. Then they asked me for my number. Me being anxious and hoping they'll just let me go if I obey, I gave it to them, and indeed, they let me pass. As soon as I entered the restaurant, I started getting spam called, so I immediately blocked their numbers. I messaged my boyfriend asking him to pick me up, and I don't think I ever felt that scared before. Planning to stay inside the restaurant till my boyfriend comes didn't work out, however, as one of them later literally entered the completely full restaurant, came up to me, and started inappropriately touching me, hugging me, and even tried to kiss me. I was so dumb that I didn't scream or say anything. I just tried to push him away, but otherwise I was just frozen in place and insanely scared due to his large build. It's insane to me that I clearly tried fighting him off as everyone around us just looked away or silently watched. I even let out a sort of help and stop a couple of times. Clearly he got tired of that and decided to take it one step further by literally dragging me out full force. I felt like at that point I'll just get kidnapped and no one's gonna do a thing. Thankfully, after all that time, a group of girls that I'd never met before entered the restaurant and said something along the lines of me having to go because we all had plans for the evening together, and thank God he just let go and left without a word. It baffles me that I could have gotten kidnapped or God knows what else in the middle of a place completely full of people. And needless to say, I hugged those girls like I never hugged anyone before, and left them only like a half hour later when my boyfriend finally came. I left my job and literally never returned to that place, being awfully paranoid even now, 2 years later. If you enjoyed this scary story, listen to thousands more, either over on the Let's Read YouTube channel or podcast.